Last year, more people chose Trinity Health System for cancer care than any hospital in the region. But it's not just how many cancer patients we see that makes a difference. It's how many we send home to their families. And isn't that what really matters? Tony Terramana Cancer Center at Trinity Health System.
Hey, welcome to week 8 of the Star Sports Cast, brought to you by Damon's Grill and Sports Bar. Here with, back after a week of vacation. Well, maybe not vacation, week of cleaning noses and other 2-year-old stuff. And Fred Youns, Brett Sobolewski, Mike Matheson talk about high school football again. Here we are, week 8, and it's going by faster than we think. Big Red is hosting Buffalo St. Joe's. Big Red had a nice game last week against Baltimore St. Joe's. One thing Big Red needs to make sure they don't do is look forward to next week's game against Massillon. I'm sure Reno has pretty much preached that year in, year out. What do you see this week coming from Big Red?
Well, I think Big Red's definitely going to need to get that power running game going this week. They're very good. JoJo Pirro is going to have to basically put the team on his back because they do not want to put the ball in the hands of this Buffalo St. Joe's offense. Brian will be telling you a little bit more about that quarterback. They have a high-scoring offense. It's going to be on the legs of JoJo Pirro and that front five for Big Red leading the way. Marcus Prather has to show some consistency. He played really well last week. He's going to have to play consistent again next week or this coming week. And I'll let Brent tell you about that Buffalo St. Joe's offense.
Well, obviously, but Big Red had 2 defensive touchdowns last week, so that defense is going to get tested by some guy named Kelly who's got some pretty good lineage.
Yeah. Chad Kelly, who's the nephew of Jim Kelly. I think he has some type of history in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I don't quite know it. Your man might have made the wing or something. I don't know the Buffalo wing. But this is a kid that's going to Clemson on a full ride, so we know he's a
good
quarterback.
Yep.
And he's not only good, he's one of the best in the country because he's gone to the scouting camps like the Elite 11. If anyone's ever into recruiting at all, that's the top quarterbacks where all the prospects go. So this is the best guy they're going to face all year behind center. And he's really good. And there's weapons around him. Their wide receiver last week, Briggs, had 3 touchdowns and was averaging nearly 40 yards a catch. So Najee Murray is going to have his hands full this week against Mr. Ohio State. Yeah. Mr. Ohio State meet Mr. Clemson because it's going to be a tough one. And what that comes down to me is trenches. It's trench warfare.
Yeah.
And let's see how House does. Let's see what Maynard Reed, if he can get another turnover again and get a touchdown. Let's see what they can do there because that's where the game's really going to be won. If they can slow it down like Fred said, run the football, and that defense can get to the quarterback, Big Red can roll with the 59 points like they did last year.
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting.
They have to avoid the trap situation here.
Yeah, I agree.
Be looking ahead of
and they have to quit turning the ball over. We're going to Creek at Harrison, which is really interesting on a couple fronts. One, obviously it's a rivalry game. 2, Creek's coming off a huge win at home against Ferry, and Harrison's coming off a tough double overtime loss at Bel Air. So you got Coach Connor from Creek making sure his kids don't have basically a Martins Ferry hangover and coming into a team that's really not happy about having lost a game that they really thought they should have won. And so you're a Caddis boy, what do you think?
Living Caddis.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're a Buckeye boy, living in Caddis, I apologize.
Blasphemer. In the case of Happy Day, Harrison Central, when you look at what they're doing, it's just been such a roller coaster ride all season for them. You think they finally got back on track, back down into the dip again. And this Creek offense is hard to stop. Yes, they haven't been running the ball like we've talked about week after week like we thought they would, but they're still explosive. And Harrison Central's had problems this year with teams that can run it up real quick. And if they get behind, you can't rely on those legs of Python all day long.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that Indian Creek passing attack has become very potent. David Kemp, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I mean, he's very efficient with what he does. They have a big play player in Ferda. Alex Young doesn't get as many catches, but he makes big plays as well. If he touches the ball, he's a danger to go all the way from wherever he's at. Harrison Central is going to really have to step up this week, and I think it's going to be who responds better to what happened last week. Creek had the big win. Do they ride on the coattails of that and not play well this week? Harrison Central, how do they bounce back from that disappointing loss this week? It's going to be an interesting one to watch.
Another interesting one, we're going to Wellsburg. Brook had the week off. They're taking it on Parkersburg South. I still say Brook runs the table. Brook can make the playoffs. And Parkersburg South is 10th in the state. They're 4-2. you know, you kind of like Bruning this a little bit because he's had now 2 weeks to prepare for Parkersburg South, and they've obviously gotten
and a good history,
and they've got the running game going with Faulkner and a lot of other things. So I see the Bruins taking care of this.
Well, I mean, yeah, this is a big game for Brook. If you're Parkersburg South, you don't like that Bruning had 2 weeks to prepare for this game. Not even in the least. They have a great running game with Faulkner. Buck Melter, let's face it, Buck Melter is not the best passer in the world, but he can throw if needed, and he's a good runner as well. This is a big game for them. They can get a ton of playoff points from beating Parkersburg South. I'm with Mike. I kind of expect Brook to really step up this week and play a big game.
And staying on the Brook train, I like the evolution we've seen in this team this year. I mean, let's face it, early in the year, it was ugly.
Yeah, exactly.
And now they got the running game going, and once they got the running game going, the play action pass started going. Then now the defense is starting to play a little bit better. They're really starting to feel more comfortable, and Coach Bernie's told me week after week, is because they keep trying to keep it simple, or as one of my old calculus teachers said, KISS, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they try to do week in and week out, and they've looked better every single week because of it. So this is definitely a game where they can snatch up and take one really quick.
I agree. All right, now we're going to go to the game that you're at. This is.
I lied. I didn't take calculus.
Yeah, we didn't.
I barely got algebra.
We go Martins Ferry at Edison at Cartwright Field. Obviously, Ferry's coming off a tough loss. Edison lost to St. C. St. C is just rolling hard. I mean,
Can't hold that one against them.
yeah, you can't hold that against them. But you know, Ferry's coming in and reading them a little bit because pretty much, except for one run, Indian Creek shut them down.
Yeah.
Shut them down except for one 49-yard run. Edison matches up well with Ferry. This is a big game for Bruni's crew and McKenzie's crew. But there's no way Ferry can look past Edison. There's just no way that can happen.
No, I mean, I think obviously coming in this game, Ferry's probably a slight favorite, but Edison seems to step up against teams like this. I kind of expect they have way more balance than Martins Ferry possesses right now. I watched them. Martins Ferry really only had one decent pass play the whole game. It's not that their quarterback's not good. It's just they don't really have that deep play threat coming out of the play action. The running game is very good though. Edison has trouble against the run. That 3-man front we've talked about, that bubble, it gives up running yards, and you cannot do that with Tyrell Simmons and C.J. Williams. You give them any space, it's a touchdown. Creek saw it last week. They gave him one time where they gave him space. He was going for a 49-yard touchdown run. So Edison's really going to have to step up their game defensively if they want to pull this one out.
See, I look at this from a perspective of 2 weeks ago when Edison lost to Harrison Central. The reason I say that is that we all know that Justin Crawford is a Martins Ferry acolyte, as it were. Okay? He runs everything Martins Ferry runs, and they couldn't stop what Harrison Central did. So what's to say that they're not going to stop what Ferry did?
Right.
Or will do. So it could be a double-edged sword. One, they could just get run over again, or ran over, or whatever is proper English.
Get bulldozed.
Hey! or they adjust, and they make the plays now that they can see those things in the offense.
I like the adjusting part. I think they'll take care of. I don't know if they'll beat them, but I think the adjusting part will be pretty good. All right. Before we get on the next, we're going to bring in Melissa from Damon's, and it was fun to be here. You know. Oh, by the way, sorry about your joints last week, dude. I'm tired. It's just one of those. I've had a long week.
Dude, we're sitting here.
Yes, still, that's tough on me. Melissa, how are you?
Hi, guys.
Mental
Great.
research.
Going great.
Yeah,
Are you guys having a good day?
we always have a good
Good.
day. We always have a
Good.
good day.
It's good to have you guys here again.
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Just a little reminder that those of you that attend the local games, make sure you bring in your ticket stubs so you can receive $2 off your lunch or dinner entrees here in Damon's. That's good any day, days or weekends. And also, we would like to thank the Herald Star readers because they voted us best bar and best service. So we really appreciate that. Thank you. And we just want to say thank you very much, and we appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you. And also, just another little reminder that happy hour is Monday through Friday from 4 to 8. It's half-price appetizers and discounted drinks, and it's both in the clubhouse and in the bar, so you might want to take advantage of that.
Wow,
So we'd love to see you.
Quadruple happy hour. Times
Yeah,
4.
right.
Wait, I have my last ticket from when I played football. Can I use that for a couple
It's
months
still
now?
dusty.
Oh, goodness.
It has Babe Ruth's signature on it,
Yes.
so you better punch
Ooh,
it.
really? Wow.
Thank you,
guys.
Melissa.
Thank you.
See you next week. All right.
Ruth, really?
Yeah, really.
That was a stretch.
Sorry.
Baseball was not invented when you were in
He's a Buckeye guy. I would have
Yeah, I
said
know.
Billy West.
Sorry, my bad.
Jocelyn Deere, 7,800 yards away. I found out.
How much?
700.
Nice. All right. Real quick, East Liverpool at Oak Glen. I like what Rick Prescott is doing at Liverpool. This is just going to be a whooping.
I think the big deal now is Coach Roberto said they found their identity.
Yeah.
And what's their identity is McDowell behind center. Because Stuyvesant, no offense, did not see the field in the first half when they were rolling Tyler.
So.
And what they were doing, letting him run out on the edges, and when he couldn't run, throwing it deep to Mr. Histon. Mr. Touchdown.
I think that's what's most impressive right now about Oak Glen is as good as their running game is, they don't throw it much, but when they do, they have a weapon.
Yeah. He's hard to catch.
He's almost uncoverable.
He's
right
just
now.
hard to
He's
catch.
so fast. If he touches the ball and on kick returns and punt returns, he's almost like I called him Chris Carter last week. I'm gonna call him Devin Hester this week. If you're a coach and you kick to him, you should be fired.
Wait,
Never
Hester
mind.
doesn't catch the ball, though.
But he returns kicks.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Half and half.
Okay. The other one is St. C at Buckeye. Buckeye, look, St. C's on a roll, and Buckeye's doing a really good job this year, but it's just right now no one's stopping St. C, and Buckeyes got to do a really good job of keeping that offense off the field. But even if they do keep the offense off the field, I think St. C is pretty productive in what they do. And
Well, Barsh has preached speed on Buckeye Local all year, that they've had it for the first time in a long time. Well, we'll find
it
out.
needs to be used, yeah.
Because, like you said, it's either eat up the clock or get run up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, St. C, there's so many weapons on that team. It's hard to match up with them. Jocelyn Deere could run for 200 yards, and they could still lose by 3-4 touchdowns in this game.
That's just tough.
It's going to be a
Tough
matchup
one.
for Buckeye.
All right, going over to Jimmy Carey. Last year, this was Weir's only win in a 14-12 win over Catholic Central. This year, we're going across. Central's going to Weir. We're still looking for the first win. I know Jason Kexio is pretty much has a good attitude toward the kids, but Central, I think, still has too much for Weir. I think you're doing a really good job, but your boys in blue.
We're speechless.
Size against speed. Weir's going to come out and try and put the ball down their throats.
Yeah, I agree
Central's
with
going
that.
to try and spread it out.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're confused. Last week, actually, even though they lost that game, they were with Barnesville for the first half. And Barnesville's a good football team. And as bad as the running game was, they stuck with it, and they had a mix, which was what I've been calling for a while. I want to see that balance. You've got to have some sort of running threat. Even if it wasn't good against a good Barnesville team, the fact that they did that and still were able to throw the ball 30 times shows me that they're trying to discover some sort of real identity in this offense. It's just a matter of if they come out and try to run 60 times against Weir like they did a couple weeks ago, they're going to get hammered.
That's the question mark. What team's going to show up? I mean,
We'll
we've seen three different phases. I will see. I will be there, and it should turn out to be a really good game because of that contrast. I'd like to see Weir, and we know Kexio, I think, will commit to it and really try to pound Central, and then we'll see what Central does.
And you know Kexio's seen the films of the blitzes. We're going to see a lot of blitzes from Weir this week, I would assume.
All right, boys. Real quickly here. Toronto's taking on Conotton Valley. Toronto's still in the playoff hunt. Toronto needs to get the running game going and take care of Conotton Valley because they get a winless team next week, and then week 10 they get Madonna. So I would expect the running game to continue to go for the Red Knights. And
that's an understatement.
I'm not sure if they're ever going to throw the ball. They're just going to run it. And the last game we have is Clarksburg Notre Dame at Madonna. Madonna's coming off a grand, big, huge win against Bishop Donahue. They need to keep it going. Once again, like we talked about Indian Creek, a trap game. Make sure we don't look forward to what needs to be to next week and take care of what needs to get taken care of, pretty much. All right, sorry about that, but we're pretty much running out of time. Sorry, boys. Hate to do that. All right, we have one thing left to do, which is the trivia question. Michael Trusik won last week's trivia question, and the winner gets a gift certificate from here, Damon's. And this year's, or we'll try this week's trivia question is, what was the score of last year's Catholic Central Weir High football game? Just email your answer to sports@heraldstaronline.com. First one gets it right, gets the gift certificate. And our Athletes of the Week comes out every Tuesday's paper, sponsored by Damon's. This week was Michael Furta, Daniel Dugan, Michael Furta from Indian Creek, Daniel Dugan from Catholic Central, and Andrew Goblick from Madonna. So you guys, congratulations. See you guys next week. You can have more jokes for him.
You got jokes?
That'd be nice. See you next week.